Hi everybody, welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Sessions. So today we are debunking myths and discussing the facts. So you guys, as I am discussing the myth, think in your mind, is this myth? Is this a fact? What is it? So let's go with the first one. Using sexual fantasies during intercourse indicates dissatisfaction with your partner. Is this a myth or is this a fact? So fantasies, this is a myth, guys. Myth. Fantasies are actually the most common form of multiple stimulation. Sexual fantasies also elicit desire. Remember, desire is all about the imagination. So when you fantasize about sex, what does that look like? And when you want to have sex, how is it different, right? And I also want you to think a little bit about, because with sexual fantasies, sometimes in a couple, they have a hard time sharing their fantasies or they take it personal. Why are you watching woman and woman porn? Does it mean that you want to have a threesome? Not necessarily. Some fantasies for some people are a must. I need to have this fantasy be a reality. Sometimes it's preferred. If we did this fantasy, it would really turn me on and it would be awesome. It's part of the repertoire, or it's just something that we fantasize about, right? For example, if we think about things like pegging, right? Maybe a man is really, what is pegging, you guys? For those of you who don't know, this is when a woman puts on a strap on and they penetrate the anus of the male. We know that the prostate is there, so it feels really good, but sometimes, people just like to watch it. It doesn't necessarily mean that they want to do it. And when it comes to fantasy also, guys, remember, I always talk about culture. I've had a lot of Latino men who actually like certain anal play, but they are so self-conscious to either even accept it themselves or share it with their partner, because guess what the first assumption is? I am gay. And that is not true. So accept your fantasies. If you can't talk about them with your partner or accept them yourself, let me know why. Send me a question, subscribe to my channel. Your question will be featured on the next episode. Awesome. Guys, next myth. A 2018 study found that the most searched term on Pornhub was threesomes. Do we think this is a myth or do we think this is a fact? It is a myth, guys. So isn't that interesting? Threesomes is actually up there too. But the one that was mostly researched was MILF, stepmom, hot mom. And let's unpack, right? And I wonder, you guys, as I was reading this question, I'm wondering, post-pandemic, what do we think is the most researched topic on Pornhub? Who knows? But if I do know, I will let you know. So we want to think about, there's always an emotional component when it comes to fantasy. So I work with a lot of men that are drawn to the MILF, the hot mom type of porn, because there's something about an older woman that gives you some sense of guidance, right? And in some cases, these men have grown up with a very distant emotional mom. So they haven't been taken care of. So now having this woman, not only that's older, where they're teaching them what to do sexually and leading that scene, imagine what's not to love. But it's also important to understand that, guys, some people just prefer older women, just like men prefer older men. It doesn't always have to be tied into an issue. Let's keep on this topic of fantasies because it's interesting. So fantasies, how we define fantasies is imagining an arousing sexual scenario. And they're divided into three genres, right? So number one is group sex. So this is threesomes, gangbanging. It's pretty popular. And again, there's an emotional component because it is being wanted by more than one person. And it's something really enticing and exciting about that. The second one is novelty, having sex in places that you have never had sex before. So one popular one, or some popular ones, are the office, elevator, public places. This is what turns them on. And then number three, power and control. This is where we talk about BDSM, bondage, sadism, masochism. dominance. And so here is erotic pleasure, giving, enduring pain, punishment, humiliation. But remember, these are all consensual, guys. And you know, with BDSM and kink, remember that there is a pre-session where they're meeting one another. We have a safe word. People are really talking about likes and dislikes. You know, there's a lot of check-ins, and then there's a post-session when they just kind of like safely talk about how they felt and ground themselves after an erotic scene. So there's a lot of myths out there about BDSM. I can talk about this all day, you know, but for now we're gonna stick to that. But those are the three genres. And you know, also remembering that with the BDSM, it could be very light and it could be a little bit, you know, intense. So intensity is to your liking. So guys, don't forget to tune in to listen to the myths and facts. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure that you subscribe so I can continue helping you debunk those myths and teach you the facts. Thank you and bienvenido.